Before she became America's sweetheart, Julia Roberts was just a rising actress with a dazzling smile and a complicated love life. From early flames like Liam Neeson and Dylan McDermott, to her infamous runaway bride moment with Kiefer Sutherland, to the rock stars, co-stars, and unexpected names in between. Some stories are romantic, others messy, and a few were never meant to last. But all reveal something about the woman behind the fame. So buckle up, because Julia's journey through love is just as captivating as any movie she's starred in. Ready to find out which Hollywood heartthrobs captured Julia's heart and which ones lost it? Let's begin. Matthew Perry, The Insecurity That Ended It All. In the mid-1990s, Julia Roberts and Matthew Perry shared a brief but memorable romance that blossomed behind the scenes of one of the most iconic sitcoms in television history. Their story began when Roberts was invited to guest star on Friends, with one condition: she'd only appear if she could share scenes with Perry's character, Chandler Bing. He eagerly agreed, and then went a step further. According to Perry's 2022 memoir, he sent Roberts 36 red roses, with a note that read, "The only thing more exciting than the prospect of you doing the show is that I finally have an excuse to send you flowers." Their connection quickly grew. At the time, Roberts was filming in France, and the two exchanged hundreds of fax messages, flirty, thoughtful, and deeply personal. "I was grinning like some 15-year-old on his first date," Perry wrote, describing how he'd rush home from parties just to check if a new message had arrived. By the time Roberts appeared in the episode The One After the Super Bowl, they were officially dating. But despite the excitement and affection, their relationship lasted only 6 months. Perry, plagued by insecurity and self-doubt, admitted he was the one who ended it. "I was constantly certain she was going to break up with me," he confessed. "I was not enough. I was broken, bent, unlovable." Rather than face what he thought was inevitable heartbreak, he walked away, leaving Roberts stunned. Years later, when asked about Perry's sudden passing in October 2023 on her own birthday, Roberts reflected with grace and sorrow. "The sudden passing of anybody so young is heartbreaking," she told Entertainment Tonight. "It just helps all of us appreciate what we have and to keep going in a positive way as best we can." Although their romance was fleeting, it left an emotional imprint. For Perry, Roberts represented a moment of genuine joy in a life often shadowed by addiction and self-doubt. For Roberts, their time together was remembered fondly, marked by warmth and the rare connection two stars found, however briefly, in the chaos of Hollywood. Danny Moder, an unshakable love that survived Hollywood's chaos. Julia Roberts met Danny Moder in the spring of 2000 while filming The Mexican. At the time, she was still in a high-profile relationship with actor Benjamin Bratt, and Moder was married to makeup artist Vera Steinberg. But what began as a working relationship between an actress and a cameraman quickly turned into something more. There was an undeniable spark between them, one that neither could ignore. Their connection deepened behind the scenes, but the road to being together wasn't simple. Moder finalized his divorce in early 2002, and shortly afterward, Roberts ended her relationship with Bratt. Despite widespread speculation and tabloid gossip, Roberts firmly maintained that she was not responsible for Moder's split. "He sorted his whole thing out, separate and apart from me," she told Oprah Winfrey. "And I sorted my life out, separate and apart from him. That's the only reason we were able to ultimately fall in love and be together." On July 4, 2002, Julia and Danny shocked the world by tying the knot in a secret midnight ceremony at her ranch in Taos, New Mexico. With only close friends and family present, the couple exchanged handwritten vows under flickering lanterns and scattered rose petals. It was unconventional, deeply personal, and undeniably Julia. In the years that followed, they kept their relationship largely out of the spotlight, choosing instead to focus on building a life together. Twins Hazel and Phineas arrived in 2004, followed by their son Henry in 2007. Roberts and Motor worked hard to protect their children's privacy. "We just want to have our family life and not have that intruded upon," Julia told USA Today. Still, she wasn't shy about praising her husband publicly. "He makes me feel like my most comfortable self," she once shared. "I don't alter myself in any way." Over time, the pair developed not only a strong romantic bond, but also a collaborative partnership. They worked together on several film projects, including The Normal Heart, for which Motor earned an Emmy nomination. He credited Julia's performance as incredible, and she, in turn, called him "my favorite person on the planet." After more than 2 decades together, their relationship faced new challenges. As their children grew up and left home, Roberts leaned back into her career with full force, starring in Ticket to Paradise and Leave the World Behind, 2 back-to-back successes. Meanwhile, Motor missed the ocean and film circles, prompting the family's move from San Francisco back to Malibu. According to sources, the couple has spent time living apart in separate homes, prompting rumors of strain. But despite the distance and life transitions, both have remained committed. On their 22nd anniversary, Julia posted a throwback photo of them kissing with the caption, "22 years, thus true love." In a 2023 interview, she called Danny the anchor of our family and said he remains her greatest supporter. "He is our person," she told the Today Show. "In the most beautiful way, the captain of our ship." Their journey has been far from typical, but it's exactly that unpredictability that has made it last. Julia Roberts and Danny Motor continue to defy Hollywood odds, not with red carpet drama, but with quiet devotion, teamwork, and enduring love. Kiefer Sutherland and Jason Patric, the Runaway Bride's real-life love triangle. Julia Roberts' love life in the early 1990s delivered one of Hollywood's most scandalous and enduring tabloid stories. The love triangle between Roberts, her then-fiancé Kiefer Sutherland, and his best friend, actor Jason Patric. At the center of the storm was a wedding that never happened, a shocking 11th-hour escape, and a friendship that somehow survived it all. Roberts met Sutherland on the set of Flatliners in 1990. Their chemistry was instant, and by August of that year, they were engaged. The couple planned a grand wedding for June 14, 1991, on a soundstage at 20th Century Fox. Guests were invited, the dress was ready, and the media was already circling. But just 3 days before the ceremony, Roberts pulled the plug. Publicists issued a joint statement saying the wedding was postponed. In truth, it was canceled. Then came the twist. On what was supposed to be her wedding day, Roberts was seen having lunch with Jason Patric, Sutherland's longtime best friend and Lost Boys co-star. The two then flew to Ireland together, setting off a media firestorm. Julia Roberts, already a household name thanks to Pretty Woman, was instantly branded the real-life Runaway Bride nearly a decade before starring in the film of the same name. The scandal sparked years of speculation. Had Roberts truly fallen for Patric? Was it a betrayal of Sutherland? Or had things been unraveling long before the headlines? Roberts stayed mostly silent, offering only that it was a kind and necessary decision. "It was the best thing for me and for Kiefer," she told Entertainment Weekly. "But he shouldn't try to make himself look better by taking shots at me." Sutherland, for his part, eventually admitted the breakup was painful, but perhaps inevitable. "I think she had the courage to do what she needed to do," he said in a later interview. "She was arguably the most famous woman in the world, and the wedding became something it was never meant to be. What made this triangle truly unusual was not just its drama, but the fact that it eventually healed. For 2 decades, Sutherland and Patric didn't speak. But in 2011, the pair reunited for a Broadway revival of that championship season, a play written by Patric's father. In a podcast with Michael Rosenbaum in 2023, they broke their silence. With candor and a bit of humor, they looked back on the incident not with bitterness, but perspective. "We didn't talk for 20 years. Patrick admitted. But when we finally did, it wasn't about the past. It was just a laugh, a toast, and moving forward. Sutherland added, "You fall in love. You fall in love. There's nothing you can do about that. Timing is what it is, and everyone moves on." Importantly, both denied the more salacious rumors. Patrick insisted he hadn't run off with the bride, and Sutherland confirmed that while it hurt, he bore no long-term resentment. "The press did what the press does," he said, "but the truth is, they were both extraordinary people. It was just a moment that didn't work out. In the end, the relationship between Roberts and Patrick was short-lived. They quietly ended things in 1992. But the lasting love story wasn't romantic. It was the enduring friendship between two men who were able to forgive, forget, and find their way back to brotherhood. Today, all three have long since moved on. Roberts has been married to cinematographer Danny Moder since 2002. Sutherland is engaged to Cindy Vella, and Patrick continues to work in film and theater. Benjamin Bratt, too much fame, too little peace. Julia Roberts and Benjamin Bratt were one of Hollywood's most captivating couples in the late 1990s. Their romance began in 1997 under the glow of spontaneity at a restaurant where, as Roberts later told Vanity Fair, seeing Bratt walk in felt like something hit me over the head with a bat. Though she later admitted that their real first meeting was far more chaotic and personal, the mythic version of that night lived on as a metaphor for their whirlwind attraction. From that moment, Roberts and Bratt became a staple on the New York City scene, regularly spotted at stylish haunts like La Madre Cafeteria and Café Lure. They managed a rare balance, wildly in love yet relatively grounded, offering just enough to the public while fiercely protecting their privacy. Bratt once told people, "All that I have to say about Julia couldn't possibly fit into 1 or 2 sentences. She's an incredible woman." Roberts was equally smitten, gushing to InStyle. "He's very good-looking, and his handsomeness pales in comparison to his kindness. That is all a girl could ask for, really." The affection wasn't just words. Bratt was known for thoughtful gestures, like gifting Roberts a purple mountain bike and a copy of Tropic of Cancer, small tokens that reflected a genuine connection beyond fame. For nearly 4 years, the pair seemed blissfully happy. Roberts once joked, "We're drunk with joy 24 hours out of the day. We're sickening." But cracks eventually surfaced. By 2001, reports suggested the couple had not seen each other for months, and the distance, emotional and logistical, was taking its toll. Their split was confirmed that June, and though the media rushed to frame it as dramatic or fueled by jealousy, Roberts pushed back. On The Late Show with David Letterman, she said, "It's come to a kind and tender-hearted end. I love Benjamin. He's a good man. He's a fine man. Not my man anymore. Sad but true and not ugly." Bratt, for his part, later opened up about the pressures of dating someone as globally visible as Roberts. "You don't build your house in a redwood grove if you don't like shade," he told Vanity Fair, acknowledging how overwhelming fame can become. "The constant tabloid presence," he said, "was like a mosquito that won't let you sleep." Liam Neeson, a quiet love that left a lasting mark. In the late 1980s, long before Julia Roberts became America's sweetheart, she had a passionate romance with Irish actor Liam Neeson. The two met on the set of Satisfaction in 1987, Roberts' first film, when she was just 19 and Neeson was 35. Despite the age gap, their connection was instant and intense. They reportedly moved in together in Venice, California just weeks after meeting. While neither ever publicly confirmed details, those close to them described their relationship as deeply emotional. Biographer Kitty Kelly later suggested Roberts, having lost her father young, may have been drawn to Neeson's maturity and stability. "He was her first big love affair," Kelly said. The relationship quietly ended by the end of the decade. Years later, when both were considered for the film Dark Man, Their screen test was so emotionally raw that Roberts withdrew, saying it was too painful to work together. Despite the breakup, both moved on without public drama, and Neeson later spoke of Roberts with fondness. Though brief, their early romance marked Roberts' first serious emotional connection in Hollywood. Dylan McDermott, from on-screen romance to real-life heartbreak. Julia Roberts and Dylan McDermott's relationship began with a spark on the set of Steel Magnolias in 1988. McDermott played her husband in the film, and their on-screen chemistry quickly bled into real life. At the time, Roberts was 21 and on the verge of becoming Hollywood's next big star, while McDermott, already a seasoned actor, was finding his footing in the industry. The two began dating quietly, keeping their romance out of the spotlight despite the media's growing interest. Their connection deepened quickly, and rumors swirled that McDermott had proposed, and Roberts had said yes. Friends and insiders claimed they were engaged, though neither publicly confirmed it. While their romance seemed steady, the pressures of fame were mounting. Roberts' career was exploding. Steel Magnolias earned her an Oscar nomination and set her on the path to superstardom. Meanwhile, McDermott's career was still on the rise, and he was working to establish himself beyond being Julia Roberts' boyfriend. By 1990, cracks began to form. According to multiple reports, Roberts abruptly ended their engagement during the filming of Flatliners. It was widely speculated that she had fallen for her co-star Kiefer Sutherland, which ultimately marked the beginning of another high-profile and ultimately doomed relationship. While neither Roberts nor McDermott ever discussed their split publicly, sources close to the couple described it as sudden and painful. Roberts would go on to be labeled relationship-challenged by critics due to a string of broken engagements and high-profile romances. McDermott, for his part, later found love outside the Hollywood bubble and admitted that being involved with a superstar had its challenges. Years later, McDermott described that time in his life as turbulent but formative. He noted how difficult it was to navigate both a serious relationship and the chaos of early fame. "No one knew what to do with me," he said in an interview, referencing his career struggles following their breakup. Still, he harbored no public resentment. Lyle Lovett, Unconventional Wedding. In June 1993, Julia Roberts stunned the world by marrying country singer Lyle Lovett just 3 weeks after they started dating. At the time, Roberts was 25, fresh off a string of high-profile relationships and international stardom, while Lovett, then 35, was known for his soulful music and signature curls. Their romance felt sudden, but to those closest to them, it was magnetic from the start. Roberts later said, "I had a very strong reaction to meeting him, different from the way I've ever reacted to any person on the planet. He's perfect." Their wedding, held in the small town of Marion, Indiana, was as unconventional as it was swift. With no glitz, no press frenzy, and just 72 hours of planning, the ceremony took place in a local church. Roberts walked barefoot down the aisle in a white Comme des Garçons gown, substituting a tulle scarf for a veil. There was no honeymoon. Roberts had to return to Washington, D.C. immediately to resume filming The Pelican Brief. But Lovett insisted, "Our life is like one giant honeymoon." Despite the charm of their impulsive love story, cracks began to form quickly. The pair maintained separate homes, hers in New York, his in Texas, even after renting a place together in Los Angeles. With demanding careers pulling them in different directions, their time together was sporadic at best. "We never spent more than 7 days together before we got married," Lovett told People. Even after the wedding, he admitted, "We've never gone more than a week without seeing each other." The strain of long-distance love proved harder to navigate than either expected. The media added pressure, especially when Roberts was seen dancing with actor Ethan Hawke at a business dinner. She shot down speculation with a sharp reply to Rolling Stone, "I danced. Is that a felony?" Still, rumors persisted, and the image of a marriage built on impulse began to falter under the spotlight. In March 1995, less than 2 years after their wedding, Roberts and Lovett announced their separation in a joint statement. "We remain close and in great support of one another." Roberts later reflected on the marriage with a mix of clarity and compassion. "Mistake, no. Miscalculation, yes," she told the New York Daily News. "Too many great things came out of it. What we had doesn't come close to the mistake category." Daniel Day-Lewis. She sent him a bouquet of roses. In the early 1990s, during a whirlwind phase of her rising stardom, Julia Roberts was rumored to have had a brief romance with Oscar-winning actor Daniel Day-Lewis. The timeline, as suggested by reports in People and the Daily Mail, places their connection sometime between her breakup with Jason Patric and her sudden marriage to Lyle Lovett in 1993. While neither Roberts nor Day-Lewis has ever publicly confirmed the relationship, whispers of a romantic interlude have followed them for decades. According to tabloid sources, one of the reasons for Roberts' split from Patric was his suspicion that she had grown too close to Day-Lewis. Yet friends of Roberts insisted at the time that their relationship was merely a flirtatious friendship. Even Day-Lewis, when asked about the rumors in a 1994 interview with the Baltimore Sun, chose not to deny or elaborate, leaving room for speculation. What is undeniable, however, is Roberts's admiration for Day-Lewis as an actor. In fact, when she was first attached to the film Shakespeare in Love, Roberts lobbied hard for him to play the lead opposite her. According to producer Ed Zwick, she even sent Day-Lewis a bouquet of roses along with a note that read, "Be my Romeo." Unfortunately, he was already committed to another project, and when he declined, Roberts dropped out too. Billy Idol, a high-flying fling that still fuels rumors. In the earliest chapters of Julia Roberts' dating history, one name stands out for sheer rock star unpredictability: Billy Idol. According to long-circulating rumors, Roberts and the punk icon had a brief fling in the late 1980s after meeting on a flight. As the story goes, Idol turned on the charm mid-air, and by the time the plane landed, sparks had flown. Neither Roberts nor Idol has ever officially confirmed the romance, but the legend has lingered in pop culture lore for decades. Idol himself hasn't denied much when it comes to his past. In an interview with the Daily Mail, the singer admitted, "I've been lucky with ladies. Lots of one-night stands, obviously." His romantic past is filled with glamorous encounters, and Roberts, then a rising star just entering the public spotlight, fit right into that chaotic, seductive world. While there's no photographic evidence or official acknowledgement from either party, their supposed rendezvous is a staple in fan forums and Hollywood gossip timelines. What do you think? Was there one love that got away? Which relationship felt the most authentic to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love stories that go beyond the red carpet, like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into Hollywood's most intriguing lives.